Okay, as you can see, we have a fresh install of Windows. No drivers, no programs, nothing. This is how the new Creative 2017 April 11th edition will look. And you'll notice some extra things that are very, very useful. But first of all, what's the first thing we do when we set up the new computer? The first thing you need to do is find the drivers. Every computer is individual. You just need to go to the website and download the drivers. What I'm going to concentrate on is the aesthetics, the look, and the ability to get things done quickly and easily. So first of all, as you look at this page, you can see the Cortana here is taking up a lot of real estate in this bar. I don't want that, so easiest thing is to right click on anywhere on the bottom bar, go to Cortana and say just show the icon. Thank you very much. So you still have the ability to write in and ask questions, but it doesn't block all the real estate. Okay, and so now I want to put on some icons here. The control panel, the PC, and the My Home folders. So the way to do this quickly is to right click, go down to Personalize, click onto Themes, and go to the desktop icon settings. And here I will choose my computer, the users files, and the control panel. I don't necessarily need the network. So apply, click out, and as you can see, there are the icons. If they're not in the order you desire, sometimes when you're moving files around, sometimes maybe these might get moved. A good way to reorder things is to go right click on the desktop, choose sort by, and I always choose item type. And there they're reordered with the PC at the top. Sometimes if you do it, the PC might not be at the top, item type, and they go in a different order. So you can just simply do it twice. So item type and my PC is at the top. As you can see, there is the look of my PC. Now, the next thing. Let's look at the Start button. So number 3 in our tasks is the Start button. I want to do two things to this. First of all, I want to put my folders on easy access. For instance, all these folders which you find here, like the downloads, the documents, the pictures, the music. I don't really want to waste real estate here with an icon to get things when I'd much rather do it this way. And the easiest way to do that is to right click, choose Personalize, choose the Start this time, and here you can go to which folders appear on the Start. And the ones I prefer are documents, the downloads, the music, the pictures, the videos, and my personal folders. So that's the name of the folders where you gave your name to. So here it would be Camilla. And now when I click on this Start button, you can see I have easy access to my documents, my downloads, my music, my pictures, my videos, and my personal folder. Also, if you're not sure what these icons are, you can simply click the hamburger and you can see you have the documents. If you go into documents, there it is. So let's click out of that. Another thing here, which I don't like, I don't really need this folder here, because as you can see I've got access to all the folders I need. So I'm quite happy to just unpin from the taskbar. The same goes for the store icon, unpin task. The same goes for my mails, and will be the same for this Internet Explorer. It's not as good as Chrome or Google, as you will see when I install Chrome or Google with extra add-ons they have, which will enable us to use VPN for free. So that will be further towards the end. The next thing we have to do is get rid of this bloatware. Now, a simple way to do this is if you simply, for instance, I don't use Xbox, I don't play games, but if you do, you can leave it on. But what you don't need to leave on is this constant live tile that's constantly turning over. So we can turn the live tile off, and immediately you can see the actions have disappeared. Unfortunately, this live tile goes on for all of them. So if you're going to keep the icons on there, you're not going to uninstall some things, just turn them off. It may take a little while. You just right click, go to more, turn live tile off. They don't need to have a live tile on. That means they're constantly using your resources. Photos, turn the live tile off before you unpin it. If you don't want this there and you just want to unpin it, but remember to make sure you turn the live tile off. And what else is here? Get Office. I usually prefer to install this myself, so you can actually uninstall this if you don't use Microsoft Office. So we'll do that quickly. This is the OneNote, which is free. You have another OneNote which comes with Microsoft Office, which is much better. Again, turn the live tile off. The same mail, I would keep the live tile on. I like mail and the calendar too. But these other icons, well, there's nothing here. They do have live tiles. I don't know why. I don't even know what they do, because if you click on them, I think they just want you to download something and put it there. So what I tend to do is I just would, I'm not sure if they're going to be, if I unpin them, they're hiding somewhere, so I'm going to turn all the live tiles off here as well. Live tile off. I'll speed this up while before I delete them in case they are hiding somewhere. Turn the live tile off. Maybe this is unnecessary, but I don't know. So I'm just turning them all off, because that way I know they're not using a resource of mine. Great App is on its way, turn it off. Skype preview, no, I'll get it myself somehow. From the App Store I could get it, but I'll just turn the live tile off. Edge as well, turn the live tile off. Here, turn the live tile off. So now I'll just unpin these tiles. Totally unnecessary. Okay, and also with the store, I would resize it to be medium, don't need it to be so big. Same with the edge and the Skype preview. I can put it here, maybe, or I can make it join that group, like that. Okay, like I said, I don't use the Xbox, you can't really uninstall it, so we'll just unpin it from the bar. And there, it looks a lot cleaner. And however, if you do have a lot of bloatware, some games that are on there, one of the good ways to get rid of them is, and going back to another thing, one of the reasons you might not have a lot of bloatware is if you install it without the internet. Because I think what happened the last time, I installed exactly the same ISO, but I ended up with a lot of bloatware because I was connected to the internet, and I think Microsoft does this on purpose. So to avoid that, install without the internet and you'll have this. So now another way to check is there is a program. If I go to my downloads, and I can go quickly now to my downloads, called PC Decrapifier. And apparently this looks for all the rubbish that is put on your PC, and you can decide whether to get rid of it. So I'm just going to run this quickly to see if it's worthwhile having. Okay, so let's try and run this Decrapifier. I've had to connect to the internet because for some reason it wouldn't run while I wasn't. Okay, so it does need the internet access. Okay, so I'll analyze. I'm going to let it analyze my PC to see if there's any other bloatware hanging around. So it looks like we don't have any items we'd recommend removing. So these are recommended, these are questionable, and there's none of them, and there's everything else. So there's the Logitech, all the things that we need, OneDrive, Camtasia. So those I'm happy with. So there's nothing, so I didn't need it. But some computers you might need it if you have other editions of Windows. So that's that. The computer's nice and clean. Now, one of the things that is also useful to do is to have quicker access to certain knowledge about your files. So here we have all the documents for the Camilla file, and what I like to do is have a quicker access to certain things. For instance, if we click this arrow down, you'll see there is View, Share, Home, File, lots of things you can see that are hidden. They do take up some real estate, so it's nicer when it's like this. But what I do is I add a quick access to them. For instance, you've got quick access to things up here. So if I wanted to make a new folder, I could just simply click that. So I don't need to have this box here. However, I will delete that. So right click and delete. So what I'd suggest is using this toolbar at the top, but adding to it. So I don't like this checkbox, so I uncheck that. I do like file name from time to time, so I'll click that. Sometimes you need to see the hidden items, and so I'll just click that for now. As you can see, there's app data. Sometimes you're instructed to go into the app data and find certain things that are causing an issue. So I'll click that. I do want that box to be available though. So what we do is we simply right click this thing here and add to quick access toolbar. So I like to access these a lot quicker, and so I'll put them in the order that I like to see them. I like to see the navigation pane, which is this from time to time, but sometimes I don't. So you simply click on the navigation with the left click, right click, and add to quick access toolbar. And as you can see, it's added at the top here. And now I can just simply click off, it disappears, click on, it reappears. Another thing I like access to is the preview pane. If you have a document in PDF or a Microsoft Office document, you can see a preview of this pane. And there you have the preview. And I like to add this to the quick access toolbar as well. You see, there it is, and I can quickly add it on and click it off. Also the layout. Sometimes I want to change it to list or content and details, and what I would do is not add 1 or 2, I just click on the word here where it says layout and just right click and add to the quick access toolbar, and there it is. Another one I like to put this file name extension there and the hidden item. In addition to this, I would put the delete square there. So here they all are, and now when I click up, you have these actions at the top. Another thing I would do is I prefer them actually to be at the bottom, not at the top. So I'll show it below ribbon. And that way it looks a lot neater. I can grab the top, move it around. I can, as you can see, I can hide the navigation, not hide it. Add the preview, select large icons. Click on the extension file names. If we look here, I have reginfo.ini. I can unclick it and click it. Why might this be important? Well, sometimes documents you want to change the name. And if you change the name on this, you double click and you can see it's still INI, but I would just change this name. It let me do it. However, if I click it and then click all of this and change, it flags up, hey, the file extension name is being changed. No, so I leave it. If you uncheck it, then obviously you can't change the file extension name. Why is this handy? It's handy because this new WannaCry virus that happened, my friend had it, and she had here was written PDF, but she didn't have this accessed. So it said something.pdf. And if I do that, you see, it looks like PDF, but it wasn't a PDF because when you clicked on the file extension, it actually said exe. And so it was an executable file. She didn't know that. She thought it was just a PDF, opened it, and all her work was gone. She basically, it was encrypted, she couldn't open it again. And not everybody's got €300 to give to these people who do this. So we just said goodbye to the files. So file extension is a good thing to have on. Now, I don't actually need this, it was just for that purpose. Hidden items as well, we mentioned before. Now I can quickly hidden item. It's also handy for you if you have share a computer and you don't want your kids to see. It's also handy if you share a computer and you don't want your kids to see your documents, your private credit card numbers, anything you have. You can write in here, imagine we have a document, let's have a new document, call it file, and then here you could have some secret numbers, telephone numbers or credit card numbers. Save that. Then what you can do is simply right click the folder, go to properties and say hidden, and you click apply and apply to all. Suddenly it's disappeared. Where's it gone? Nobody can see it, nobody's looking for it. But if you click on here, suddenly there it is. There's my folder. which is hidden and out of view. Obviously, if you had kids, you would probably remove this from the quick access toolbar so that they couldn't quickly unhide things. So, but it's useful to have the hide thing for sometimes you're installing some programs and you need to access certain areas that are hidden. So I'm going to put that back for me. View and add to quick access toolbar, but I'm going to unhide the items. Okay, so we've got file extensions on. We've got the different ways of looking at the icons. Medium, big is nice. And that is great because now I don't have to use this real estate for what is there. Not really much sharing, other things, but not the most important things. So let's click that up and we'll go on to another part of the setup. Okay, just another quick tip I need to add in before we go. The first thing is when you access the Notepad, whenever you access the Notepad, you'll notice that it comes up with the you might write some words in here, let's say, and let's say the words go on and on and on, and like this. And you'll notice that as I make it smaller, the dialogue will just carry on and on and on. And what you need to do is click on word wrap so that it doesn't matter how you do it, the words will just wrap so you won't lose any information in case you think you've read everything. That's one thing. The other thing is when you start your computer, certain things start with it. And every time you download something, it wants to start on your PC. If we look at the bottom here, you can see these things are running. The OneDrive, the actions, but these things we want to run. Certain things we don't. And if you right-click the task manager, it will come up small and just show you what items are running, which is the Camtasia recorder. But if you click more, this is where you can check your startup, because what happens when you install Adobe and other such things, they all want to start up at the same time, particularly iTunes, looking to update all the time. And all you have to do is, for instance, this Logitech wants to start up as soon as I start up the computer. I don't need that to happen, so I simply right-click and disable. And then I click on the status so that the disabled ones are always at the bottom, and I know which ones are running when I start the computer. At the moment, there's only these two files running, and I don't even need my OneDrive to run, so I can just disable that. So when I start the computer, the only thing that's going to run is Windows Defender. Now, once again, I have to remind you, once you start installing many programs, they all want a piece of your internet. They all sneak in there at the start, and you'll find that your startup time is really slow, and you'll think, why is my computer so slow at starting up? It's because you'll have a ton of things here trying to start up at the same time. So I just thought I'd add in that quick piece of information. Also here, if ever you need to stop something running and it won't stop running, you can just simply right-click it and say end the task, and it will end the task. For instance, if you're tired of Cortana, I can simply end Cortana. So now Cortana will be quiet. Oh, maybe not. But anyway, you get the meaning. Oh, she's back. So, right, this is my computer. So if I just right-click and go to the task manager, You can see the wide array of things I have working here. I've got Google Chrome, Camtasia, but also on my startup you can see all the number of programs that wanted to begin, such as the Java update, Adobe Manager, etc. Even the Logitech, which is the camera I'm using, wanted to have service as soon as I start up. Smartboard, which I use. All of these things don't need to be starting when I start the computer. And so you can see I have enabled only these so far. I don't really need Windows 10, Google to start. I can start that myself. QuickTime I installed, that has decided it wants to start at the same time. I'm not sure about the media check tool, don't really need that. So more stuff has started. This is something about special touch icons. That might be useful. So really I only need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of a possible 20. And one more thing I wanted to show you was, when you do decide which icons to have on your tablet, with the new Creative Studio you can actually add them to a small box. So for instance, if I wanted to make all of this into one box, I could just drag it on top and it becomes part of that setup. I can even add one more. Drag that, suddenly I've got a lot more real estate available, and I know this is music, that's where my music files are, and I can drag them out. I can also put them back if I want to. I forget which one was there now. Okay, it was one of them, but which one? Yes, it would be maybe the Burning Rom. So those are the ones that perhaps I want quicker access to without looking. So let's just review for a minute what we've done. We've made the icon smaller here. We've added these folders to the desktop. We've added these folders to the start menu. We've deleted and got rid of these icons and stopped them from being a live tile, so using up resources. So again, making sure these turn live tile off. I forgot to use the store and turn that off. Here it says restart computer, Asus touchpad. I didn't want that because, like I say, I'm using this to transfer to a friend's computer. But never mind, it's nice that they think of me. So I'm going to pause there for a moment.